Tonight, News Channel 5 investigates. Are some of Metro's struggling high schools making the grade or faking the grade?
For the first time, 2 educators are going public with their concerns, and others who did not want to go on camera are telling similar stories.
News Channel 5's chief investigative reporter Phil Williams has the exclusive investigation.
Y'all ready to get started?
The story of what's happening inside Metro Nashville's high schools has in recent years become a national story, bringing a presidential visit.
The message I want to send here today is we want every child to have every chance in life.
While some of Nashville's high school principals,
kids are more than a test score,
have been asked to share their insights with Congress as well as the U.S. Secretary of Education. A school district once facing a potential state takeover has more recently generated headlines for dramatic improvements, especially improvements in high school test scores. One national magazine even dubbed it a district of distinction.
When I hear those stories, it makes me angry.
Why?
Because I know they're not true.
But now these Metro school employees are risking it all.
True gains would involve making sure that every student tested.
To blow the whistle on a testing system that they say hides the students who need help the most, all to make the school's test scores look better.
This is manipulating data. This is making the test results different than what they would have been.
It's rigging the game?
Yeah, exactly.
We're taking a test right now.
In Tennessee, high schools are judged largely on the percentage of students who score proficient or advanced on end-of-course exams in 7 subjects, 3 years of English, 2 years of algebra, as well as biology and chemistry.
We were pretty much under the gun to get our scores up. I mean, it was, that's kind of a do or die thing.
Kelly Brown was the lead counselor at Pearl Cone, the lowest performing high school in the city of Nashville. Pearl Cone has tried to carve a niche for itself as an entertainment magnet school. But in April 2014, Brown says her principal brought her a list of students who needed to be pulled from classes just a few weeks before those critical end-of-course exams.
A lot of them were failing, but not by much. And there were some that were actually passing.
They were actually passing?
Yeah.
And they were pulled from the class?
Right.
When Brown looked at their files, she discovered that the students who were pulled had not done well on a round of practice tests that are supposed to predict how well they'll perform on their exams.
All of these students, the ones that got pulled, have that in common. They did not perform well on the predictive tests.
Why would they do that?
I mean, the only reason is because they want their scores to go up. That's the only reason.
These are students that needed these courses to graduate.
Shauna West was a 9th grade counselor at Hunters Lane High School, a school that showed gains on those exams due to what the principal described as a different approach.
Now that we're talking to kids about their data, they understand what they need to learn, and then they can help partner with us in how can I teach this to you in a different way to make sure you learn it.
Some would say, Miss West, why did you change my schedule? And I said, well, I didn't change your schedule. And I thought, well, let me just check the 10th and 11th grade rosters, transcripts, and noticed that, okay, there were more.
So they were pulling the students who had not done well on the practice tests.
Exactly.
District officials say they did approve a policy that lets schools pull students who failed the fall semester of a class to give them remedial help in the spring, what they call credit recovery, expecting that they would make up the second half of the course sometime later and then take the end-of-course exam.
Here you see this.
These former high school counselors showed us plenty of examples of passing grades, a 74, 78, even an 84. In one case, a female student identified to us as Student D was enrolled in Algebra 1 and actually passed the first semester with an 81. But her predictive test suggested she might score below basic on the exam that's used to judge the school. That's the lowest level. That's when she was pulled from the class.
I'm almost done.
Then, like most of the others, Student D was signed up to finish Algebra 1 on the computer using a program that the district calls A+, an assignment that more than a year later, Student D still hasn't completed.
They're really basically having to get that information on their own, and they don't. The vast majority of students don't, without real structure and guidance, do not finish A+. and they didn't finish A+.
Finally, Kelly Brown says she confronted the Pearl Cone principal.
I said, I can't work in a school where we pull students from testing.
And she said?
She said, well, all I can say is I was directed to do that, and we're not the only school.
Directed to do that. So if she was directed to do it, it had to have come from
one of her superiors.
We're talking about the central office.
Right, executives.
I just felt like it wasn't right.
And Shauna West admits she got into trouble at Hunter's Lane when she actually promoted some of the students who had not been allowed to complete their classes.
These students should have had the opportunity to take the course and be promoted and not have to go into credit recovery for something that they didn't fail.
I would never want this done to my own child, never.
Both women say they know of students who have been hurt by these practices. All at the same time, school officials are busy patting themselves on the back.
Who in their right mind would do this to their child? And if you wouldn't do it to your child, why are you doing it to these children?
It's cheating the children.
It's cheating them.
Now, both women say they have heard similar stories from colleagues inside other struggling metro high schools, which is another reason why they think the direction was coming from higher up.
And you tried to get someone from the school system to go on camera.
Absolutely, we tried. Instead, this afternoon, we got this statement that we're posting online. It says that as a result of our questions, school officials analyzed the data, and so far they see, quote, no evidence of systemic avoidance of those end-of-course exams, just a few isolated examples.
Wow, and I know you've uncovered a lot more, right?
That's right. My investigation is going to continue online, Facebook and Twitter, and tomorrow night on News Channel 5 at 6.
Look forward to it. Thanks, Phil.